Everyone, today we'll be discussing about the concept of evolution of mobile technologies. Based on its technology, there are four generations which are being implemented, that is 1G, 2G and 3G and 4G. Okay, this we will be discussing in this session. One by one the generations will be discussed. Okay, let's check. So the mobile mainly is the main aspect. Mobile, the moving objects, like where you are said to be moving the object from one end to another end. So this mobile connections, it has led to like billion number of connections which are said to be getting connected from one device to another device. Mainly the people who are there on the earth, they are said to be getting connected to millions of systems, billions of systems at a time, and they are said to be having a connections which are said to be having a good experience of getting information related to all aspects. It may be news, it may be the folders which are being created, sent and received, photos, it may be the calendar, the weather report, mobile communication, the music, it may be many aspects, gaming aspect, audio, video, all aspects are being considered. So the mobile connection may be whatever billions of population may be there, but the interconnected devices are multiple, more than 25 billion connections are there, and you have many number of applications which are being built over those connections. Okay, so based on this mobile communication, it gave a newer technology with many things which are said to be learned from this technology, and where you are said to be getting many aspects through this technology. One is it gives a valuable performance, you can say a mind-blowing performance, like many computers get connected, many systems get connected with this, and you have the graphical features which provide all the aspects, and then you have the high quality multimedia, the audio videos which are being sent and received which are of higher quality. You have a reliable connection between the both the ends. You have the broadband speed which is said to be like you cannot even imagine also how speed of data is there when it is said to be flowing over any of the lines. Okay, and it has a concept of having long life battery. It is said to be giving a communication which is said to be reliable on any of the aspects. Okay, these advantages are there when the mobile communication came into effect. This mobile experience, it even gave a real-time connection, the connection which is said to be very fast to download it, maybe to upload it, maybe then reliable on that particular connection to give a gooder performance at each and every place. Then you can get connected wherever you want, connect on the go, wherever it is there, you can get connected to the internet. You are said to be getting connected for a longer period of time without any disturbance. It is because of the technology which has been improvised 1 2G, 2G, 3G, 4G, like that. Okay, and then the mobile technology, even it has upgraded from one level to another level, where you have the 1G. It used to have the concept of amps, amps it is said to be using, that is amplifiers are being used which give a analog voice. Okay, it is not digitalized. In the beginning when it was said to be introduced, it was 1G, which used the concept of amplifiers which generated the signals in frequency aspect like this. Okay, then in the 2G they use the concept of D amps, nothing but you can say digitalized amps or duplex amps, where you have the communication at both the ends, and you have a digitalized voice which is being, without any mistake, the voice used to get dropped to the other end, and simple kind of data was able to transmit. Then came the 3G technology, which used the concept of coded division multiple access concept, where you use the concept of a mobile phone, where you have the graphics, where you have like photos to be passed. Everything was said to be introduced in the 3G ability. Then came the 4G, which is said to be faster and better than other kinds of technology. Okay, then every mobile technology, it gives a good performance in all the aspects, where 1G, it used to give a connection which is said to be a reliable, without any mistake, without any problem. The voice was said to be generated, since it was the concept of FDMA, nothing but frequency division multiple access was being used. Then 2G came into effect, where the capacity of voice to handle it was very easy. Okay, then came the 2G, then came the 3G, where it was optimized to have all kinds of applications which had a better for performance and connectivity. And the 4G, it is more faster, more capacity, more broadband connections, many connections, conferences, everything are being considered in the 4G technology. Okay, so let's check out with the 1G and 2G. 3G, 4G I'll be considering in the next sessions. Okay, your 1G, it is said to be having a licensed spectrum, where you used to it used to generate the frequencies through the help of the antennas which are being connected. Nothing but it had the concept of getting connected through base stations which are there. And it had a concept of frequency reuse. Is nothing but when one frequency was being used, next at certain level it will not be like different frequencies being generated. The same frequency used multiple times, that was being used, where in this frequency spectrum it used to have multiple cells which are being connected from one end to another end. And you have the mobile network, where it had the communication from one end to another end through the help of a main connection to a PSTN, you have a public service telephone network through which you get connected to multiple towers, multiple antennas you used to get connected. Okay, so three aspects were there in the mobile 1G technology. In the 1G technology, why it is said to be limited is it had a fewer spectrum to follow. Only a little bit spectrum was said to be used at the end, where it used to pass only one channel at a time. One channel means what? One-way communication was there. One finishes, the other then it works. Okay, so that was there in the 1G technology, where you can see the radio channels which are being generated and which are being passed in the analog format to the other end. Okay, so it is said to be limited. And 1G voice was amazing, but it was said to be limited for certain distance. Okay, since it cannot travel for a longer distance, it cannot handle longer distance, so its capacity was also less. And it used the concept of frequency division multiple access, where the data was said to be divided in multiple waveforms which are being generated. If any disturbance, it used to disturb the even voice quality also. Okay, and limited scalability is nothing but I can occupy only for certain distance. You can say, for example, a cordless is said to be 1G. It had a concept of only for a limited distance only, but higher cost was there when it was to be implemented. Though it is limited distance, it had the less cost, more cost concept. Okay, then mobile 2G digital technology increased the voice capacity. Mainly it increased the voice capacity. How it was like in the beginning, it was said to be a landline, or it was said to be using the concept of a cordless phone, which is said to be for a limited area. But in 2G, it used the concept of duplex, where two-way connection was said to be there. When two-way communication was there, even it had the communication between one base station to another base station, the sender and the receiver side, and receiver to sender side. Like that, the two-way communication was there through the help of the GSM. It's nothing but global service. Mobile service was there, which was said to be introduced, where they used to communicate from one mobile to another mobile, and it had a more voice capacity than that of the 1G. And it used the duplex facility. Both the ends they used to get communication. Though here also you had a gap of the spectrum. It used to create the gap of spectrum, and it had supported greater than one user per channel. At a time, it can support multiple users. Okay, greater than one user means like 2, 3, 4, 5. That was said to be there. And it had the concept of digital communication. Digital communication is nothing but your data was said to be turned out into digital ones and zeros. When it has to pass the information, it is 1. When not passing the information, it would be 0. Like that digitalized concept was said to be introduced in the 2G technology. Okay. In the 2G, it used the concept of D amps and the G amps. So when you wanted this voice capacity to be more handled, it used to have a voice signal which is said to be generated, encoded, then it is said to be compressed. Okay, mainly it used the concept of a time division multiple access, where the slots were divided based on the time. One slot, if it is said to be taking the line for certain amount of time, it had to wait for the other slot. That communication was there in the 2G, and it had a scalable like technology where it was replacing the cordless to a mobile phone, okay, which had more capacity than that of a cordless. It can store, it can retrieve, it can get the data through the 2G phones. Okay, pocket size phones was said to be replaced. Okay, then this 2G technology, what in the beginning it was introduced as your 1G, then 2G, then it had the GSM. Even IS-54 was said to be introduced, where it had a spectrum which used the concept of coded division multiple access. A coding part, okay, when I want to execute one frequency, I write certain code, another frequency, another code. So coded aspect was being introduced. Once getting connection and disconnecting the connection, it used the concept of the CDMA, like coded division multiple access. It was said to be using, where each slot in this, even it had to follow that TDMA, that is time division multiple access. At each slot is to have a time. Based on the time, it used to get executed. Okay, at a time it can execute only 8 users at a time. This way the 2G was said to be working, and this TDMA, it was helpful to carry to multiple frequencies at a time. Larger frequency at a time it can generate the signals, plus it can have a reduced interference. Interference is nothing but when multiple people are said to be getting connected, the interference is said to be less. It had to have a interference which is said to be very less. No disturbance, nothing was there in between when the information was said to be traveling from one end to another end through the help of the TDMA. Next came the CDMA, which has improvised like in the 2G only, where it can handle multiple users, multiple spectrums at a time, with the help of the CDMA. Coded division multiple access is nothing but each user, when it is said to be getting connected, it generated a code. Through that code only it used to execute the things. Here the transmitter and the receiver, you can check how it used to work out as one code was generated per user, second code for the second, third code for the third. Here the code, when it is said to be generated and sending the information, that code used to like make the receiver to respond to that code and get an information and get a voice which is said to be of higher quality. Then though it is it will be made lower quality, it used to make higher quality through the help of the devices which are being placed in between. Okay, so the receiver had a higher possibility of getting a good voice at the other end through the help of the CDMA. Mainly the CDMA, it helps out for the communication, like it can have a connection for a longer distance also. Code A for one, code B for the another one at the other distance, code 3 for other distance, like that it used to generate. And cell edge challenge is nothing but without any interference, without any disturbance, it used to get communicated. That is said to be your cell edge challenge. Multi-path fading challenge is nothing but though the interference is there, it doesn't make the signal weaker. It will be stronger though it is there, and whatever analog signals are being generated, those it was accepted. Even soft and hard handoffs is nothing but like the communication when it happens, it used to handle both the signals which are said to be of higher frequency and lower frequency without any disturbance. Okay, both were said to be carried and the signals didn't get any disturbance within the signals. Okay, and the CDMA has various benefits which are being implemented through the help of the integrated services of the 95. In 1990 it was introduced, in 1992 more improvised, 1995 it was said to be improvised with IS technology. Then it came into effect with commercial deployment, like purchasing everything online, was everything being done in 1995, 1999, everything multiple connections without any disturbance, without worldwide connections was said to be implemented. A more flexible technology was improvised in 1999. The CDMA has various benefits. One is that it has an increased voice quality, then more efficient spectrum was there, more efficient resources were there, and increased battery life in the mobiles were there, and better security it was being provided by the CDMA. Okay, so in the beginning it was analog, then came into effect the GSM, then came the CDMA, which improvised the voice quality for a higher level. Okay, the other part of 3G and all we will be discussing in the next session. So remember, the first technology which was introduced was your FDMA in the generation 1. It used the concept of frequency division multiple access, where the information was divided into multiple slots of frequencies. But in the second generation, it was said to be digitalized. It used the concept of duplex communication. Both the end communication used to happen in the digitalized format. In the beginning, it was said to be using the TDMA, time division multiple access. Then it came with the CDMA, coded division multiple access, which gave a higher voice quality and a better voice quality. Okay, so this is the part of your second generation, and you have learned about first and second generation, why it was improvised, mainly technology wise. Daily you want a frequency which is said to be higher and gooder one with gooder capacity. So the cellular telephonic concept was said to be introduced to increase the capacity, increase the voice quality, increase the level of applications which are being managed over a mobile communication or a cellular communication. Okay, thank you.